Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ecom Ops podcast. From being fired and facing homeless to building a seven-figure Shopify empire. Welcome, Jesse. Frimpone is living proof that resilience isn't just a buzzword, it's a business model. You're now the CEO of Prestige Automation and mentor of thousands through Prestige University. Jesse shares raw through behind trend spotting, TikTok mastery, and building ecom brands that actually scale. And if you think you're hustling hard, wait until you hear Jesse today. So I'm really happy to have you on the show. My name is Norbert, and you're listening to the Ecom Ops podcast. Let's jump in. Jesse, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, I appreciate the intro. My name is Jesse, as you said, and I specialize in e-commerce. We basically just sell anything that is trending online, mainly using organic social media marketing as well as paid ads. Right now are heavily focusing on TikTok Shop and using the affiliate marketing strategies in order to boost products and brands. And so I started out doing this 6 years ago. I've been doing this for 6 years and just now really starting to hit the peak of what we're doing. Not even the peak because it's still growing so much in the e-commerce world. I started out in college. I got a degree in finance, and during that period of time is when I was exposed to various different methods of entrepreneurship. And I found e-commerce during that time and really just went all in on e-commerce in college and was able to make my first 7 figures during that time. And since then, I've just continued to grow my team, grow the business, and help other people do the exact same thing through this business, Prestige, which helps educate people on how to make money online. And we've seen a lot of success, and it's continued to grow. And so now we're just looking to show more people how they can make this reality for themselves.
That's awesome. It's really cool to hear that you're there for help people grow themselves online. So I did it in the intro. So you went from homelessness to 7 stores. How did those hardship shape work? How you operate today?
Yeah. So honestly, I think that, having to go through that struggle and having to go through that poverty is what really builds that resilience in people and being able to build a successful business, because building a successful business is not hard. And the reason why most people aren't successful is because they're not willing to go through the failures and through the hard times. And once they do start to see those failures, they give up. But when you come from not much and you have to fight your way to the top, you understand that nothing's going to be handed to you and you just have to figure it out as you go. And so that resilience that was built up during that time period where it was a struggle when we first moved to this country and going through immigration and all the rest of it that happened during that period of time, it really just pushed us and put us through that mindset to where if we've been through this, we can make it through anything. And that's, I think, is a big factor in what you see in a lot of people who came from nothing and were able to build, lives from themselves, is the fact that they know that they have nothing to fall back on and they know that they're completely dependent on themselves. And that was my situation. And so that's what really pushed me and allowed me to have the resilience to go through the failures and go through the hard times and not making money and losing money and not really seeing the results that I wanted to see. And instead of giving up, you just keep going because you've been through it before in your real life through the struggles. And so I would definitely say that going through that in my life and having to go through those hard times and build that resilience is a big factor in what allows me to do what I do now. And I think a lot of people who have been through a struggle have the same mindset. They just haven't really been able to put it towards something that can actually bring monetary results, which is what I try to help people do.
Yeah, cool. I mean, you said actually something really cool, namely failure isn't final, it's fuel. And I really love that. It's actually so true. There's so many things and so many failures you do in business or even private, but especially in business, there are failures, and if you don't see them as a blocker, or if you just overcome this, it's really fuel. It's really like you learn something. I often say, even to my employees, you can make a failure. It doesn't matter at all as
Yeah.
long as you learn from that failure and you do it once and not a
Yeah.
second or third time, because
Exactly.
it's learning for something. So it's fuel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you share a moment where that mindset changed for you when you were exactly in that game? When did it change for you?
Yeah. So for me, honestly, it was when I first made my sale. Like my first online sale happened overnight. So I woke up in the morning, checked my phone, and I got like a little notification, kind of like the one I have on my phone here, where it just says you've made a sale. And when I woke up and saw that, it was like a light bulb. Like, wow, I actually made money without having to go into a job or clock in or spend my time. I did something and learned a skill that could now make me want money whilst I was asleep. And for me, that was the biggest factor in like, now I just want this more. I want to chase this feeling. It's kind of like a high. It's like I had this feeling now of making money and I just wanted to do more of it and get more of it. And so for me, it was, what do I need to do in order to achieve that? And it was posting more videos, finding more viral products, learning how to run ads, learning how to, find affiliate marketers and how to get them to optimize their content. And so it became just chasing those sales. And for me, seeing that first sale just made it real. And a lot of people, you just got to see that it's real and that the money hits the bank account and you understand that this is more than just some social media trend or some, hobby. This is a real business that can bring real money and real results.
I mean, it's a it's an interesting story actually. When we say you did the first sale and then you started um, to learn how to sell faster and more.
Yeah.
How did you learn that? How did you come into that topics that made you actually sell more and more and more?
Yeah. So for me, marketing is the biggest factor in how I make money. And honestly, if you know how to market in 2025, you can make money forever. Like you can make an unlimited amount of money. It's all marketing. So whether that's organic marketing, affiliate marketing, whether it's paid ads marketing, there are so many different ways to market. And so becoming an expert in marketing was that step because I knew that if I could get this product in front of people and in front of the right people, they were going to buy it. And I know that I have a good enough profit margin that if I make a certain amount of sales, I'm going to be able to make however much money it is I'm trying to make. And during that first year, it wasn't like I was trying to make $1 million. Honestly, making, $20,000 a year would have been good enough because I was working at Taco Bell. So it wasn't like I was expecting much. But marketing was the biggest deciding factor. I read a lot of books on marketing. I read a lot of books on sales. I studied a lot of the big people in the space at the time who were talking about sales and marketing. People like Russell Brunson, Robert Kiyosaki, that was a book that I read. People like Alec, Robert Cialdini was another one, a book that I read. And these are all books just talking about how to market and get in front of people, whether it's a product or yourself, whatever it is, just get it out in front of the people. And so I really just dove deep into the world of marketing. I studied a lot. I got a few courses and mentorships and people were, kind of guiding me and pushing me in the right direction. I didn't have a specific mentor that brought me to where I was at, but I had a few people that I was watching and studying who really helped me understand what it took to get to scale a business, because it could have just been my first year. I made a bunch of money. A lot of people made a lot of money during that year in 2020 because COVID happened and everyone was just at home and buying stuff. So there was a lot of money to be made and it could have ended there. But learning how to scale the business and understanding how to build a brand that could be sustainable, that's what made the difference between me and all the people who started the business and weren't able to continue, 6 years later.
What's the process? I mean, let's say you have a new product. What's the process for you for testing new products or campaigns without burning cash? Or is it required to burn cash to understand does it work or not?
No, it's not required to burn cash. The process of doing it organically looks like this. So what I would do is, first of all, what we do heavily now is we rely on artificial intelligence to bring us a lot of the data that tells us whether a product is viral, whether it's trending, and what kind of videos are doing well for that product. And so we would use AI, like you got AI sites like Viral Ninja, which gives you viral products. And so you can go on that site. It's going to list you a bunch of viral products, and then you pick one. And then what we would do is we would then take that product and enter it into the TikTok trend discovery. And what TikTok trend discovery is basically gives you in-depth data on products that are on TikTok and how they are doing. And so how many sales are they getting? What are the CTR rates? What are the conversions? How many people are watching this, buying this? And it gives you data on whether it's a good product to sell or not. So once we cross-reference that Viral Ninja product with what's happening on TikTok, we can then determine that this is a product that we can sell. And so what we would do from there is, if you're starting out and it's just you, what I would say is you've got two ways to go about it. You either just order that product yourself from Amazon or from a dropshipping supplier like CJ Dropshipping, and you just create content that you see on TikTok. And so the kind of content that you would see on TikTok Trend Discovery, they're going to show you the content and you can just basically copy the content. And I say copy because there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. They probably copied someone else. And if it's worked for them most of the time, just repurposing that content and making it your own is going to work again, because something in that video made it hit the algorithm. And so if you redo the content, the chances of you hitting the algorithm and going viral as well is very high. And so then I would just create a bunch of content that I already see is trending and push it out with this product. And with TikTok now, they have TikTok Shop. And so all you need to do is set up a TikTok Shop. And now when you post your content, people can buy directly from your link. Now, your first few videos may only get 100 views, but that may be a couple of sales. But as you continue to post and you do it consistently, you're going to reach more and more people, especially if your content is good. And all you need is one video to hit 100,000 views, which on TikTok is very doable. Whether you have 0 followers or 100,000, hitting 100,000 views is very doable. And so you're going to get a couple of videos that do that. And those are the videos that are going to make you $1,000, $2,000. And as you continue to go and scale and grow and post more content and build your following, those sales are just going to continue to go up. And then what I would do from there on the other side of that is I would then start to hire other affiliates. And so affiliate just means an influencer who's posting your product in exchange for a commission. And so I would have them posting the products and using their following, because they may already have 100,000 followers, but a lot of these influencers don't make money. They don't know how to monetize from their following. And so what you do is you give them a product, make them create videos for the product, post it on their page, and they get a percentage of the sales that they make. So if they make you $100,000 in sales, they get paid $10,000. That's money they never would have made before. So we have 300 affiliates now, and some of our highest earning affiliates are doing $50K a month in their revenue. And so that means that they're making us, $400,000 or $500,000 a month just simply by posting videos. And so there's definitely a way to do it without spending money. The affiliate model is probably my favorite, because you're just using other people's social media and their followers and their community to promote your product.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, the big question is, what's the technology behind it? Do you sell those products on your stores? Do you sell it on a third-party store? Is it drop shipping, or is it the self-warehouse? Do you need to buy the products first and put it on the 3PL warehouse to let it ship? How do you track the affiliates? So these are interesting topics, I think, that we should discover.
Yeah, 100%. So we have a warehouse that we use for all of our brands, and 7 brands that I run, as well as some partner brands that I have with clients. We run out of our warehouse just because when we bulk order the product, we're able to save, the margins are lower, and so we're able to make more money, more profitability. But we wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't have a warehouse. And so starting out, everything that we did was just drop shipping. So for anyone starting out, I would suggest simply doing the drop shipping method. You can connect suppliers and manufacturers in China to your TikTok shop. Now, TikTok does have a thing where you have to have a product shipped out within 3 days of the client ordering, the customer ordering the product. And so using US-based warehousing and supplying is now a lot more advantageous when it comes to, drop shipping within the US. And so whether you're connecting through a Chinese supplier, which some of them do have 3-day shipping, it just depends on the product. And if you're connecting your TikTok shop or your Shopify through a Chinese supplier, the one that I always suggest is CJ Dropshipping. They have the most variety of products. They have very fast shipping. You also have Zendrop, which is another good one, and they have a lot of US-based suppliers as well. And so that one is really good for TikTok Shop specifically. And I would say with these two, you don't need to have a warehouse. You don't need to order bulk products. They ship everything from their warehouses. So as soon as your order comes in, they process they get their payment for the products. Let's say you're selling it for $100 and it costs you from the supplier $20. So the $20 automatically would go to the supplier once the customer makes the purchase, and then you get the $80 directly into your account, into your Shopify or TikTok Shop account. And then the supplier ships out the product, handles the labeling and all the rest of it. So you don't have to take boxes to the UPS and all of the rest of that stuff. I wanted to avoid all of that hard labor because that's what makes it hard for a lot of people to start, because you're trying to ship and label and work with customers and buy inventory all while working a 9 to 5. It's just not very realistic. And so now we're able to connect AI servers like Zapier. I don't know if you've heard of Zapier, but it's basically just an integration website which shoots tasks using its AI integration to different websites. So you can connect a Stripe account to take payments to your CJ Dropshipping, to your Shopify, so that when someone buys, the Zapier would connect all three of these websites and automatically trigger each website to do a separate thing once an order has been placed. And so that's a little bit more on the advanced side. When you're starting out, really all you need is a supplier and your e-commerce store, which could be through Shopify or TikTok Shop, and you're good to go.
That's good. That's good. And how do you track the affiliates?
So we built an in-house IP. So everything that we do on the prestige side, we've built an entire CRM, an entire system around our affiliates, which tracks the content that they're posting. We have managers to make sure that they are posting content on a regular basis. But when it comes to affiliates for anyone just starting out, the TikTok Affiliate Center pretty much handles everything. You can find your affiliates on the TikTok Affiliate Center. You can pay them through the TikTok Affiliate Center, and it divides their percentages automatically based on the sales that they make. You can also use other AI sites, which are similar to the ones that I use using my in-house system. There are sites like brandfam.io. It's like a brand family thing where they basically bring a bunch of influencers to your brand, and you can work with the influencers and have them on your brand. And it pays out commissions. It pays you. It tracks their content. It tracks their performance. So you can find new influencers if the ones you have aren't doing well. And so, yeah, AI is really good for tracking and managing affiliates as well.
That's good. Thank you so much for that insight. It's very, very interesting. You teach thousands through Prestige University. What's the number one mindset shift most beginners need?
The number one shift I would say is just getting out of that defeatist mindset where a lot of people think that it's oversaturated. A lot of people think that there's no longer an opportunity there. I would say that this is probably the biggest opportunity in the 21st century, buying stuff online. Thousands of brick and mortar stores are shutting down every single day, and more people are losing the motivation to go into a store when you can literally just buy online. Everything is going online. And so if there was ever an opportunity or a time to get into it, it's right now. And so don't feel like you can't do it or that it's overwhelming or it's a daunting experience. Just start slow and don't pressure yourself. You don't need to make $1 million in your first month. Just making a couple of dollars and seeing that it's real and seeing that you can actually make money is what gave me the motivation to continue going. And for a lot of people, just seeing that it's real and that it works could be that motivating factor that could change your life. And I've seen it in hundreds of our clients. And so I would say that just start slow, start with something that doesn't require as much capital upfront investment. Start with something that you can do during your spare time when you get home from your regular job. This is something that you can put an hour or two into after work. And I guarantee you, if you do it consistently, and consistency is key. If you do this for a couple of weeks, you're probably not going to make money. But if you do it for a couple of months and you continue doing it, I guarantee you're going to make money. There's no way you don't make money. And so consistency, understand that it's real, it's very possible. And there's endless opportunity, especially in 2025, as this thing continues to grow and more online businesses, continue to thrive.
What's the difference between someone who hits the 6 figures and someone who scales to 7 and beyond?
It's all systems, any business that Honestly, if you talk to, spoken to millionaires, billionaires, getting to 100,000 is the hardest part. Once you hit 100,000, a million is if you have a good system is pretty easy. And so the reason why I say this is because making your first 100,000 is that initial hustle stage where you're really just trying to figure out your business. You're really just trying to figure out what it is that you do and who you do it for and how you're going to make money. And that's that initial 100,000. Once you've made that initial 100,000, your business is already solidified. You should have a target market. You should have data to study. You should have KPIs. And now it's taking all of that data and creating a system to where you can replicate that 100,000. And so that next million should be a lot, now I wouldn't say easier, but it should be simpler as long as you've been tracking that data throughout the way. And so the difference is systems, because a lot of people just start the business and they're like a solopreneur. It's just them. And they want to continue doing that to 10 million. It's not going to happen. You're probably going to be stuck there for a really long time because it takes a team, it takes systems, it takes data to build a real business. And so I would say if you're starting a business, just make sure that you understand the systems that go into building a business. This goes from having the right VAs and assistants. It goes from having the right technology. It goes from tracking everything that you're doing from point of contact to point of sale. It goes to your product pricing, your order values, your lifetime, your LTVs, your lifetime values, your CAC. There's a lot of data that goes into it. And this data and these systems is what make a real business and what makes some side hustle type of thing that just, you do for fun, basically.
Yeah, and I need to underline that again because we heard it so often in the show already. If you're doing something, then do it and don't just try it. Exactly. I think that's also a big difference. Yeah, it's of course, go and learn the systems or go and get the information you need to do something. But when you start doing it, do it with your full engagement, with your full heart, even if it's just maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. But then focus on that and focus on one thing. And do it. And if you don't do that, you will fail. If you're not going all in, it will not work. If you just try it, it will not work. Yeah. Exactly, that's a big difference. Now, Jesse, one thing. What's a common myth about dropshipping or e-com you would love to bust?
Oh, it goes back to that saturation. Oh, it's saturated. It's been, it doesn't work anymore. And it amazes me when people say that, because you would never say that, real estate is saturated or the stock market is saturated. And then these forms of making money have been around for years and years. E-commerce has only really been a major thing for the last maybe 5 years. It's become like a mainstream thing. And so when you look at other forms of making money that have been around for 50, 60 years, and then you look at e-commerce, it's in its infancy. It's literally in the beginning stages. Most people don't even really know what it is yet. And so when you look at this new generation that's growing up, the kids that are in high school now, they're not going to be shopping in stores anymore. They're going to be shopping online. And so the next 20 years is really where we're going to see the major growth in e-commerce. And so I would say the major myth is that e-commerce is saturated, that there's no money to be made. I would say that it's the complete opposite. It's as unsaturated as it could be, and there's more than enough opportunity for everyone watching this to get their little slice of the pie.
Yeah, and I need to tell that because it's a very interesting one. I was in e-commerce 30 years ago. E-commerce back then was a catalog printed and an order form that you need to fill out and send back via letter or via fax. I don't know if fax is the right word also in English.
Yeah, fax,
The machine fax, via fax to the company. So, and then they ship the package to you, I mean, this was e-commerce 30 years ago. And 20 years ago, when I founded my company, my digital agency, it started that we built e-commerce stores. And there's not comparable to what we see now. I mean, it was really systems where you say, oh gosh, I mean, look back how Amazon looked like 20 years ago, 15 years ago when it started, how this looked like, how it behaved, with all this kind of also performance in opening a page. So it's really a difference. And I also think I need to agree, Jesse. I'm pretty sure that in the next 5 years, the e-commerce market will still grow. And what we see is especially also that B2B market, so customers selling business to business, wholesalers, etc. They all switch from being only on phones or writing emails and placing orders. They force the customers to go into B2B portals and buy there, because they don't want to have the overhead of taking a call, taking an order by phone, taking an order via email, and typing everything in ERP to get it fulfilled. So even B2B is going to be very, very strong, and we see a 70% growth of B2B in the next couple of years. And I think that's the next big thing, that also B2B really migrates there into that world.
Yeah, I agree.
All the very old school mapping. Yeah, Jesse, we are close to the end. There's one last question that I ask everyone in the show. Who has taught you the most about e-commerce in your career?
Probably YouTube. I would. I never really. I would say YouTube. YouTube has one. There's a lot of information on the internet, and and books, and just reading and studying what other people have done, I would say.
Okay, got it. Well, Jesse, before we wrap up, we have a new part of the show, namely Jeff Holman, founder of and CEO of Intellectual Strategies, has told me 2 questions.
Okay.
And I am the one asking you these questions. Afterwards, I would want you to tell me a question from my next guest. Okay? So here is question number 1. First, and this is just for fun, what's your go-to ice cream flavor?
Probably vanilla.
Vanilla, okay, that's nice. Mine is chocolate lemon, but it's okay.
Nice.
Vanilla is great, thank you. And second, what's one thing you intentionally do in your business to deliver a customer experience that truly stands out from the crowd?
Communication. Communication is key. So we just make sure that they're aware of every single step of the process, because you could have an amazing product and have bad communication, and you have a terrible product because your communication is not there. And with a lot of clients, they don't know anything about e-commerce. They don't know what's going on. So although you may be working in the background on making sure that it's successful, they don't know unless you stay in communication. So we just make sure that through every process of the journey, they are in constant communication, constantly aware, and we're very transparent on what's going on our end.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. And well, now it's your turn. What's the one question you'd like to ask our next guest?
What's the most amount of money you've made in a year?
Okay, got it. Thank you. Cool question. We will let you know. That's cool. Thank you. Well, guys, from scarcity to strategy, Jesse has shown us what it really takes to build not just a store, but a movement. I think, Jesse, you have been really a great guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been real, raw, and high motivating to see what you guys are doing, what you are doing, and go out for the Prestige University, give it a chance, take a look what they are doing. And guys, if you liked it, don't hesitate to drop us a review, share this episode with a fellow founder. And well, this is the E-commerce Podcast. See you next time. We are happy to help and live together. Bye-bye.
All right.
And that's it for this episode of the E-com Ops Podcast. If you enjoyed listening and would like us find and interview more e-commerce operations experts, please search for E-com Ops Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app and then subscribe, rate, and review. Until next time,